What's up, you guys? It's the Authentic Empress again. I remember a couple months ago, um, I had this conversation with my mother where I basically revealed to her that I feel like I no longer know how to be their family member. I don't know how to be their relative anymore. And not even like specifically like my mom or my parents, siblings and stuff like that, but a lot of my family members that I used to spend a lot of time around, be protective over, be loyal to, really was all about family, really loved my family, like despite, like the minor little challenges and stuff. And when I felt so cornered and pushed and provoked to the point of like removing myself, like as far as like putting distance and no contact in between, um, I did kind of develop a sense of security from not being around them. And that security that I developed from, not being around them, I don't know if it was like an inner child thing or if I just genuinely didn't feel safe or just honestly feel like I can trust them. Um, and I'm talking about like, dealing with instances where, out of the blue, like a cousin that I used to protect and be there to fight her battles and all type of shit just switched up on me and, had a whole clan, a whole group of people that I don't even know the people, but, little things like that, that I've forgiven, like that's an example of, a situation I experienced with one of my closest relatives growing up. And, even with that, I managed to like kind of forgive that and, try to move forward with this person. And whenever I wanted to like really have a real conversation about it, my cousin just, she preferred that, oh, let's just let bygones be bygones. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, but there wasn't like any real conversation, any real truth revealed as to why she even felt vulnerable to betray me like that or, turn on me like an enemy. And, your experiences, they are not for nothing. The people the other parties that's a part of these experiences that you've had, they may want you to silence yourself about it. They may not want you to talk about it, address it, confront it. Even if, like, for example, like this is something that's really old, because it's old, like they may try to downplay whatever feelings that you felt as a result. But it's just a lot of energy around like things not really being discussed or real conversations not being had, to resolve inner conflict, for all parties involved. Like there wasn't enough of that for me. And even being gaslit by wanting to like have real honest, transparent conversations where, people actually, share a mutuality of wanting some type of solution or resolve, or some type of repair. But I feel like I've dealt with, people who always try to hold on or include like a piece or portion of not being fully accountable, a piece or a portion of not being, fully honest about their motives, their intentions, why they chose to say certain things about you or to you, why they chose to, move a certain way with you. Okay, what conversations were really being had about you with other friends and family, that they have or confided in, and the thing about these people not revealing this stuff to you up front, it doesn't change the fact that you still intuitively sense that, right? Whether they, just flat out tell you about it or not. You can sense if somebody is like kind of fake. You can sense like if this person, really want me to experience like challenges and stuff like that. You can sense like if somebody like gets off or is happy that you got your feelings hurt, or somebody did you wrong or some shit like that, or something failed, or and you can sense that even when their faces are smiling, even when they have eyes of concern, and they can say all the right things, and even with that, like, you can even notice the shallowness in them trying to comfort you or console you. Like, you can even detect it, like they're doing it because it's the right thing to do, because we're family, we're friends, like it's the right thing to do. But it's almost like they're giving you empty words, even almost like they're pulling from your archive of how you respond to them, how you help counsel them and help them get through things and overcome things. It's almost like they're pulling from that, and representing it to you to, kind of keep you on this soul tie, um, where they can basically benefit from you or drain from you or harvest from you, like when they feel like it, or when they feel like there's some type of like benefit for themselves, like selfish. I feel like in a lot of ways, emotionally, psychologically, and mentally, I felt like, I've dealt with relatives who, and friends who I feel like made very selfish decisions, emotionally and psychologically. And yeah, like personally, even though I love my family, I've been so like estranged from my family, for a significant amount of time, that I just I just feel like, okay, these are completely different people to me now. You know, I'm a completely different person. These are completely different people. Um, and I just don't know how. I feel like there were several events or several situations or experiences that led to me feeling like I don't feel safe. I don't feel secure totally with y'all. I don't feel like I can 100% trust y'all. I feel like it's starting. I feel like what once was genuine and authentic, like love, um, I feel like it kind of like shifted into performance, like conversations becoming performative, family events, being mostly performative or exploitative, like people wanting to know what you got going on, use it as an opportunity, like to get in your business and stuff like that, to compare their lives with yours, but like no real sincerity, and just feeling like you have to defend the man or the woman whom God has evolved you into, or the man or woman that you've evolved into, to better protect yourself or give yourself a... My phone got too hot, so I got my AC going. So yeah, but to each their own. Of course, this is not everyone's reality, right? With family, but I'm speaking to those of us whom it is our reality. You didn't just, break your own trust with these people for nothing. Like, there was things done, or the lack thereof, that led to your spirit not feeling safe. with certain people from your past, or just certain people like in your life, right, or throughout your journey. um Especially like with family and friends, or people who used to be friends, like if they even got to the point of you considering them a friend, there was some type of trust that you had towards these individuals. There was some level of loyalty that you had towards these people. And something was done, something took place, something was said, something wasn't said, that led to you no longer trusting these people or deeming these people, trustworthy. Something was done, something was said that, caused you to revoke your loyalty. And in a lot of cases, especially like with chosen individuals, in a lot of cases, the other party did something to betray your trust or your loyalty, or they didn't value, the loyalty. They went outside of being loyal to you. Like, it was never, oh, you just up and decided not to fuck with people that's your family, like people that used to spend a lot of time with, like stand up for them, all type of shit. You didn't just do that for nothing. Like, what the hell? And I feel like, one of the inner conflicts we deal with is, we genuinely do want like more balance and more harmony, like just in life in general, like in the world in general. Like, and I'm also talking to people who even took action to try to repair, to try to repair or resolve the situation. And your efforts were mocked. They mocked your efforts. Okay, some of them mocked your efforts because you're intelligent, because you're emotionally intelligent, you're emotionally competent, because you're intuitive, because you pay attention, because you're so authentic and honest. You're not trying to. And also, I feel like the loving and compassionate aspects of us is how we would give them surface energy. Like, we will repay them or respond to their surface level energy with surface level energy, right? For their comfort. When these people, insisted on just being surface level with you, you got to a point where you started being surface level with them, but that went against your authenticity, okay? In a way that still negatively impacted you, because it's like something was not being resolved internally. Like, things were still left wide open, okay? Wounds were left open, the proper treatment was not provided, and you're expected to just continue collecting these wounds from these people, right? Who don't want to sit and talk about it for real, who don't want to admit how they contributed to the scars and the wounds being created. They don't want to have the real fucking conversations. And then when you've literally done everything to maneuver through the situation, even at the expense of your peace, it just seems like it got to a point where it just seemed like, damn, like, y'all gonna like demonize everything I'm doing, like every effort that I'm making. I'm the only one making genuine effort. You know what I'm saying? So yes, like I told her, I don't know how to be a relative to y'all anymore. I don't know how to be family to y'all anymore. Like, because there's just something that's been created within me, where I don't want to call it a resistance. It's just that I've become accustomed to being without them, being without that family or familial like love and connection. Like, I've grown accustomed to it, because when it shifted, when it started to change, and I tried to like acknowledge it, to it's like motherfuckers just kept doing shit to burn the bridge, bro. Like, isn't it insanity to keep trying to rebuild a bridge that motherfuckers is intentionally like tearing apart? And I'm saying now, like, from my personal experience, bro, like I just don't feel like I should disregard my feelings just because it may not be an inconvenience, you know, to these people. Because I shouldn't be thinking thoughts like, I feel like if I tell you what I got going on in my life, you're gonna send some type of evil eye or ill wish my shit so it fall apart. You know, I shouldn't be thinking thoughts of, you seem like you don't really fuck with me for real, but you know, we family, so you know, we having this surface level ass conversation and shit. Like, you're really fishing for information, you know, going on my life because you still want to compare. You know, opposed to it just being like genuine, sincere love, bro, and like really giving a fuck. Like, I don't feel these feelings for nothing. And I'm not gonna be gaslit energetically. I'm not gonna be gaslit by past memories, what ifs. I'm not gonna be gaslit when people showed me to my face how much they really fuck with me or how much they don't fuck with me. Like, it's hard. It's hard. What makes it hard is y'all kind of expect things to just, you know, a lot of times people just expect things to kind of just fall back into place with no, I'm getting too hot and shit because it's like 90 something degrees. Okay. But I just don't know like what to tell them, because it's one thing to free yourself from suffering of, you know, people whom you're supposed to be the most safe and secure with. Okay, like when you go out in the world and you experience fuck shit, you know, ideally you're supposed to be able to kind of just go back to your family, go back, you feel me? You know, if you go out in life and you fail, you know, you fall on your face or some shit like that, you're supposed to be able to go back to your family, go back where you came from, you know, like. But imagine like something in your spirit just being so provoked that even if you go out in the world, right, away from these people, and you fall on hard times, those hard times are not enough to convict you to go back or to return. Like, there's some level of resistance. Like, there's a level of resistance within you that's just refused to go back. Or when you go back, you get so irritable internally. You get so irritable that you feel like you just still need to escape, bro. Like, I'm gonna tell you how fucked up it is for me. My thought process, okay, of how I see my family, bro. Like, this is how fucked up it is. Like, this is my thought process because of what I went through in life. Okay, my thought process with my family. And y'all know y'all normally have like a handful or like maybe one or two, or you know, that you know, my thought process is I don't trust them with information about my life. You know, being the life of the party is not always a good thing. Being the life of the party is not always a good thing. Being that relative or being that person that people look forward to showing up or not, right? But being the life of the party is just not always a good thing. Like, let's really think about that. When you're the life of the party, yeah, like there's perks, you know, there's pros that come from that, right? Even the people who are with you, you know, they even get perks and stuff, right, from being associated with the person who's the life of the party. But that can also come with people trying to harvest off that energy off that person, people trying to put death to that person's energy, their vibrancy, their vitality, their effect on others, their impact, their influence. People wanting to have that energy for themselves, so they're willing to sabotage that person, betray that person. Like, so even when time has gone on, right, and family members begin to miss you or miss the benefits of your energy, your presence, right? Y'all don't trust it, or it's hard to trust it. Like, and then some of them even gaslight you with, you know, the fact that you've been absent, that you put your energy back. Some of them gaslight you about it too. And in most cases, the gaslighting can be subtle, or it can just be just direct, right? But you know, when you have that feeling that you freed yourself from some level of suffering, a level of peace as a result of removing certain people, it's like, man, like the invitation to return to that, you're not super thrilled to return to that, but the aspect of you that's like super loving and family oriented and stuff like that, you're tempted to return to the suffering, right? Especially if you've brought solutions, or you've tried to provide solutions to the suffering, right? And it's like it was rejected. It gets rejected. It gets talked over, looked over, mocked. People just prefer surface level shit. Like, you can't really fully be yourself, like your true authentic self, without people feeling offended. And not just feeling offended. It's one thing to feel offended. It's another thing to feel offended and then evil eye that person. It's another thing to feel offended and then ill wish that person. It's another thing to feel offended and then say some type of shady remark to that person, right? It's another thing to feel offended and then create some type of like fake conflict with that person, or create a scenario that gives you the excuse to insult something about that person, right? Just to possibly cause them to waver, like, you know, in their self-esteem or their confidence. You know, I've dealt with that, y'all. I've dealt with that. You feel me? I feel like I said, this conflict of the quote-unquote loneliness or solitude that comes from you, like, removing yourself from toxic people, or people that have some type of like negative impact on you. It can get lonely and makes you more vulnerable to being gaslit back into, like, you know, toxic arrangements, like with family, because you just want family, you just want a safe, secure community, but you know fuck well, bro, you know damn well, if you go around these people, even if you like the first few days or whatever might be cool, but it's just your spirit is gonna eventually feel vexed again if these people are not doing the work on themselves, right? If people are too prideful to even, you know, admit that they need to work on themselves, like, what the fuck can you really get out of that? How can you really thrive from that? How? Especially even when you do separate and remove yourself, they're still sending weird ass energy towards your life. So, and a lot of times they send that weird energy towards your life in hopes that you will return. Like, I just feel like I don't know if it's just like really being loving. Yes, you know, being a forgiving person, being a loving person. But now a lot of us are in the energy where, okay, yeah, you've been that loving person, you've been that serial forgiving person, you've been that person that put space in between, you know, and then try to come back around and heal things. You've been that person, bro. And it's like, damn, after so many times or after so long, you're just not that person anymore. Like, it's like you change into something else. Like it's like you evolve into something that's tough enough to experience, like the rejection from your mother, the rejection from your father. And this is making me emotional, because it's not something that you just go through, escape, come out of, and you heal from it like in just a couple years. And more than likely it's because you spent so many years dealing with these people's demons, right? And if you're dealing with people's demons, or people that's giving space and room to like demonic energy, or like the spirit of discord, spirit of chaos, you know, that stuff can really break a person down, right? Can really break a person down. And then like to, you know, go on away from them and go through life and make new connections, and these connections fall apart, okay? Or they kind of reflect similar energies that you've dealt with, you know, with these people and stuff like that. You know, I feel like some people will say, oh, well, the reason why you're experiencing like the similar energy in a different body is because you haven't really like healed or properly addressed, you know, the trauma, the situation. But is that really true in all cases? What if you have confronted the trauma, the wound? What if you did? What if you did on several occasions, right? What if you gave necessary space? You communicated honestly, right? But at the end of the day, we can only control ourselves and nobody else. So then what? You know, are you still to blame? You feel me? Like, if you try to do things in a manner that can lead to some type of resolve or restoration of harmony, but they are not doing it, then what? Does that mean that person, you know, or does that mean you deserve to just have people switch up on you and like just still continue like experiencing envy and jealousy in people whom you thought was a friend to you, or you treated like family and stuff like that? Like, so yeah, I don't feel like we're supposed to ignore that. And if I'm being like really, really honest, like all of that contributes to my relationship with God. It's like I got more and more and more comfortable with God and less comfortable with people. Comfortable with myself because I'm comfortable with God, but less comfortable with people. And even with that, I have a tendency to make people feel comfortable. I've always had a tendency to make people feel comfortable. Feel like they can talk to me about whatever. Feel like they can share taboo things with me and not feel like they're going to be attacked, or like I'm going to weaponize what they tell me, against them. But I've been on the other side of having things I've shared with people weaponized against me. Like, my best friends that I had in college, I had 2 best friends in college, right? Which I no longer communicate with anymore. I'm saying one of them, I was in her wedding and everything. I was a bridesmaid, all that shit. We was always together, bro. Like, I was with these people through some shit. Like, it's crazy. Like, it seemed like when I decided, okay, I need to take a break on smoking weed and shit because my grades are being affected. Like, I remember my algebra class or whatever, it was my math class. Like, my shit was kind of weak and I had A's like in every other class, so that shit was fucking with me. Like, and I knew I had started smoking way more weed because I made 2 friends who also smoke weed. Shit, I be fucking chiefing by myself, so to connect with 2 other people that smoke just as much, and now we all smoking together, it started to reflect in like my academic performance, right? And so I pulled back from it, and there was like a mixture of, oh, I respect your decision, I understand, da 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 da, I support you, blended with, oh, so what, you think you better, or you think you better because you taking a break from smoking weed, and stuff like that, yada yada yada. So I feel like when the friendship really started to fall apart was, I experienced like this humiliation ritual in school, and so I kind of went into a hermit mode, and one of those friends decided to mark me as an enemy because I went into hermit mode. And it's not really because I went into hermit mode, but me going into hermit mode basically fueled for what was already there to come completely out. Because I've never once called her out of her name. I've never called her a bitch. She called me a bitch when we reconnected. She weaponized information that I shared with her against me, whenever we did talk again. It wasn't, oh, what's been going on, da 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 da, and then you being understanding and compassionate, and just happy to hear from me in general, and happy that I'm doing okay, I'm doing well, and being understanding, since you was also there and present, and you was also a part of gossip, right, of the foul shit that was done to me. So you have context of the situation, but when we reconnect and talk, you use that as an opportunity to quote unquote, kick me while you thought I was down. And then when I'm in this energy, well, okay, well, just get the fuck on then. Fuck you too. When I respond like that, these 2 friends, it's like, so now they're talking with amongst one another, right? And then they're talking to me individually, right? And so the friend, that wasn't necessarily the one that called me out my name, but she's like, she's the 3rd friend. She's going back and forth between me and the other girl that I was cool with first, by the way. And it's like everything she's telling her is like she's, basically fishing for sympathy. And I'm being scolded. Well, Jada, you can be harsh sometimes, and da 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 da. Like, and she's trying to apologize. She's trying to be understanding. Well, regardless of her apologizing to me, to you, she didn't apologize to me. She told you that shit. She didn't say it to me. When she had opportunity to talk to me herself, she called me out my name and said some other things. That is not a fucking friend. And y'all not about to gaslight me together to make it seem like I'm not a real friend when y'all motherfuckers didn't even know each other until me. So imagine experiencing something like, damn, You become best friends with somebody. You become best friends with another person. You bring them together so y'all a trio. And then these two motherfuckers you brought together turn on you. No. Like, no. I'm not tripping for no longer, trusting y'all. No longer feeling a sense of loyalty to y'all. Because y'all didn't give a damn about maintaining the energy with me, despite all that I poured into the friendship and shit. Despite all that I poured into the family relationship. I don't think I can do performative interactions and conversations anymore. I don't want to have to do that. I don't want to feel like I have to accept that, like, just to have my family in my life. I don't want to feel like motherfuckers secretly want shit to fall through for me and then want to compare our lives with each other. Like, like, I don't know. And sometimes people even try to use that shit to make it seem like, you a fraud or you're not really of God. You feel me? But it's like, damn, like, you are the company you keep, right? If we are the company we keep, why would I keep myself around people who don't really fuck with me like that? And they're not going to admit it. They're never going to admit it, right? They're never going to admit at least the real reason why they don't fuck with me. The real reason why they switched up. Like, they're not going to reveal it, because if they reveal the real reason, it's going to show like some type of, right? It's going to make them seem or come off distasteful in character or like spiritually. I feel like if things drift apart, that's how motherfuckers wanted it to be. I feel like if opportunities presented itself for things to be resolved and people chose not to, that speaks volumes. So yeah. Whereas I used to be quick to jump and fight somebody else's battles, only to watch them like create battles for me, push me into the battle, right? Watch me in the battle and just leave me in it and dip out. You feel me? Whereas they can come to me and I'll show up to their battles, but they want to create battles for me and then sit back and watch how I handle it, how I come through it, how I get through it. Yeah, no. And right now, if anything, God is just dealing with me in regards to my clarity, as it pertains to like my decisions and how I decided to move or remove myself from certain environments and certain people. Because if I can be impacted negatively by strangers just being in proximity to me and like, them having entity attachments and, demons and addictions and all type of shit like that, make them vulnerable like to being possessed and used against, divine beings. Just imagine like what it's like with karmic family and friends, supposed to be friends, right? So I just feel like for somebody like me, it's like I'm just a slow bloomer. I'm just a slow bloomer with friendship and family. Like, I don't have any children yet. I just feel like a slow bloomer. And if anything, the difference that I've noticed was simply like me removing myself from people, places, and things that acted like they didn't want me there. They act like they didn't want me around. And so eventually I just removed myself, and I feel like, people may try to switch the narrative or try to project how they actually moved with you onto you to make it seem like you was the cause of something like falling apart or falling through. But at the end of the day, between you and God, you know how you showed up for these people, bro. And it's not easy. It's not an easy walk. It's not an easy walk. Right? It's like breaking your leg or doing some damage to your leg, and it's like, damn, I could go back, right, and utilize that crutch. Even though that crutch, you feel me, like the little soft part on the top of the crutch kind of like broken off and shit kind of uncomfortable, but it's a crutch. Like, that's literally what it's like when you go back to these people, bro. It's like, ooh, there's a there's this antagonizing like discomfort, but it's still a crutch. You know what I'm saying? Compared to going out, just going out on your own and goddamn, I don't know, find a fucking tree, a fucking branch or something, and create a fucking, I don't know, create a staff or some shit, like, but make that shit happen. And at the end of the day, your spirit still be at ease and at peace because you're not around other people's internal chaotic environments. There's sometimes, just like anybody, like, I'm gonna have to turn my camera off, otherwise my phone is going to keep overheating. But the first card on my deck is looks can be deceiving, bro. Looks can be deceiving. But what I was going to say is that, yeah, you give in to returning back to a relative because you don't want things to be in shambles. Like, that's not your desire. That's just something you've grown to accept so that you can stay sane, so that you can still be productive and, active and be of use to God, Most of the times when we remove ourselves, like, we're removing ourselves so we feel more safe and secure. So it says, envious of you having a stable vision and knowledge of your life purpose. When I reflect over these stories of these people in these friend groups and them being betrayed or sold out, plotted on, them going on these vacations and, the friends plotting on the person, switching up on the person, right? I've come close to situations like that. All I'm saying is the shit that I've experienced with people I considered relatives and friends are the reason why I so isolated, or why I spend a lot of time alone or in solitude. Like, I didn't just become this way for nothing. Like, what the fuck? I did not just become this way for nothing. I damn near felt forced to become harder. Like, I had to become harder. I had to become tougher. All while simultaneously in the inside, I'm still like soft and loving. Like, I still desire like shit, but I still gotta have restraint and discipline so that I don't just accept any type of shit around me, bro. Because I've already been hurt. I've already been harmed. I've already been scarred. I've already came close to losing my life. Okay? Trying to resolve shit with people that I thought was my friends. Trying to resolve shit with people that I thought was family or that I thought I could trust. I could have lost my fucking life. I could have lost my fucking life around these people. People have lost their life from the fucking friends and relatives that their spirit was telling them to get away from these people. And they did it. And there's some people right now paralyzed. There's some people right now dead, bro. Dead. Because they trying to hold on to history with somebody. Because they giving more than enough patience. Giving more than enough understanding with motherfuckers who have no intentions on giving it to them. And then when you do the right thing, you take that courageous action to separate yourself. Then you gotta face a whole nother group of energy of motherfuckers trying to mock you, persecute you because you can stand alone. Because you are alone. People creating these false ass narratives as to why you ain't got no friends. Why you not with your family? Why your family don't fuck with you? You must have did something. I must have did something. But they still all together. They still all fucking with each other. And then I'm just ostracized out the group. But I did something. I did something. That's why I said, bro, being the life of the party, being the favorite cousin, being the favorite whatever, is not always a badge of honor. No, it makes you a target. It makes you a target spiritually. It's like, my experiences have shown me that I cannot be blinded. I cannot be blinded by vessels. I cannot be blinded by the fact that we're blood. I cannot be blinded by all the love that I poured into you, all the loyalty that I poured into you. I can't be blinded by that shit. Because this shit gets me fucked up. It has gotten me fucked up so many times, bro. Y'all not about to gaslight me for just, I don't know how to interact with y'all. I don't know how. I don't know how. God damn. I feel safer not being around y'all. And that's sad. That's sad. It's not that I want it to be that way. But god damn, like, bro, I can't just revert back from what God has created me to be, bro. I can't. I just feel like when God changes you, when God molds you, bro, like a lot, it has like a deep permanence to it. Like it penetrates deeper than any influence or effect that a human can have on you, bro. And I literally felt like, you know, or sometimes I feel like I'm battling like the version of myself that I had to evolve into, that God evolved me into, bro, so I can still continue my purpose and my path. But this walk is not easy. And it's, you know, and the reason why it's so difficult, because it is so easy. It's just, it's easier to just slip into things that just distract you from your reality, bro. Like, it's so easy to slip into that. It's so easy to slip into that. Somebody like me, shit, if I start smoking weed or whatever, I may start back smoking weed, yes. But I will not. I will not. Like, I don't know, like, just certain, like, I don't know, like, certain connections and shit, I don't know. Because I just feel like anytime I open myself up to certain people, bro, it's like I start experiencing misfortunes and shit. Like, bro, you have to connect the fucking dots, and you gotta do something different, bro. I can't be having these moments where, bro, I'm crashing out in the face of God. I'm crashing out to God. That's who you're gonna see me crash out to. I'm crashing out to God on some, bro, I just want my peace to be undisturbed. That's it. I want my peace to be undisturbed.
And I've gone back and forth from, damn, I feel a strong urge to feel like I need to protect, and be discreet about what I'm doing in my life. I feel a strong urge to be that way, and trying to find a balance and using my life experiences to help people, to uplift people, to pull people out of dark spaces, bro. To clarify the fucked up creepy shit that people are experiencing around them, and they don't have nobody solid to validate that shit for them, and they're being mocked because they're gifted. Like, what the fuck? But then you have people with ulterior motives listening to your testimony, listening to your trials and tribulations, trying to figure out how can they weaponize it against you to get something that they want at your expense. It's like, it's such a strong, like, illusion. Like, boom, there's suffering staying around these people until you get the fuck on and move away. Boom. Then you also experience suffering for getting the fuck on and moving the fuck away, because these people don't want you to get the fuck on. So you trying to create a life for yourself outside of them, but you still experiencing misfortunes and shit. What the hell? To trick you into, okay, well, maybe I do need to just go back. And that's exactly where they want you. That's exactly where they want you. I've been considered strong-willed and everything, and it's like, because I just refuse, like, I feel something resisting, like, God, bro. I may not have a whole lot of people, or have people where I can really, like, resonate with, in regards to my story and stuff like that, bro. But shit, I'm gonna get on here and talk about that shit, because I feel like I let a lot of shit. I feel like after we recognize these things about these people around us, and we put some distance, we did the no contact, we did all that. I feel like because we're still chosen ones, because we still have, like, the spirit of Yeshua in our hearts, bro, we're loving, we're compassionate, we're also that energy of forgiveness, for they know not what they do. That is real love and compassion. That's some real love and compassion, for people to put thorns in your side. People to put a crown of thorns on your head. People try to nail you into stagnancy. People try to nail you to delay. People try to nail you to betrayal. And you still turn up and say to God, forgive them, for they know not what they do. You still have kindness and love in your heart to still feel some type of love and compassion for these people. Okay? To do the proper assessment and studying. Understanding, like, damn, like, I know it's not really you. I know it's the demons and the spirits you dealing with, but bro, like, you hurting me. You hurting me. And I love you so much, but you hurting me. I love you so much, but you too toxic for me. You're too toxic for my mental health, bro. And then you have to see the pain in their eyes from you having to be truthful and honest with them, because they haven't really figured out, like, how to overcome the demons that's causing them to become something that hurts you, bro. So it's so much gaslighting and guilt tripping and stuff all mixed in. Like, even if it's subtle and subconscious, like, that's a lot to work through, bro. That's a lot. That's a lot. When you're somebody who genuinely loves and care, when you're understanding, God has given you wisdom, God has given you knowledge, God has given you discernment, God has given you the ability to see the demons, to see the spirits. God damn, motherfucker, send this shit to you. These demons trying to latch on and attach to you. You wake it, bro. To each their own. I'm somebody, I woke up several times to my bed shaking. This shit is real, bro. Spiritual warfare is real. I woke up to, listen, let me tell you about a dream I had before. When I was younger, bro. In this dream, I felt paralyzed. It was one of those paralysis dreams. And I'm just going to skip to this part where these hands appear appeared from like almost like underneath my bed, like on the side of my bed. And the hands was basically like reaching towards like my body. And all I know is I'm like just praying because I couldn't move. So I'm praying and I'm just calling God, like, and and I'm trying not to confuse. I'm trying not to confuse details of this dream because this could all be the same dream or two similar dreams. I had a dream where I was experiencing sleep paralysis at my parents' house. My light was on in my room. I didn't turn it on. And from what I can see in the hallway, it was dark. So this entity who had an animal head, but he was only a shadowy silhouette. He came in my bedroom and he only stayed on the wall. He stayed on the wall. He would not come off the wall. And so he basically glided on the wall, hit the corner to get to the other wall, and he basically was just traveling on the wall until he got to my bed. And so I'm calling my parents. I'm calling my parents. I'm calling my parents. Calling my parents. Nobody is coming, bro. Nobody came to help me. I'm screaming. Or I'm screaming and nobody heard me. Nobody came to help me. So that's one dream. And if this is the same dream, all I know is these hands, physical hands, it's not a shadow anymore. These physical demonic hands appeared, and it's like almost like it was coming like kind of over my stomach area. And I managed to break out of the dream, but when I woke up, y'all, I kid you not, my bed was shaking. When I opened my eyes, my bed was shaking. There was nobody in there but me. I just started to call on Jesus. I just started to call on Jesus and just pray, and it stopped. When I called on Jesus, when I prayed to God, the shaking stopped. Tell the average person that story and see how they're going to respond to you. I just really been dealing with, these energies of just trying to shift the understanding that God has already gave me about my path, about who I am, about these things that I'm seeing that's being revealed to me, and just wanting me to question my discernment, question my connection with God. Listen, I'm so raw and real with it. Like, I've said to God, like, do you not deal with me no more? Like, have you cut me off? Because at the end of the day, like, even when you experience like discord and separation, like with people you really love, like humans in this lifetime that you love, bro, that's just one separation. I couldn't do it. I just could not do it without God. Like, I could not do it. I couldn't do it. I would not be able to do it. I just feel like things, like my energy just shifted. Like, I always had this inclination towards God. Even if it wasn't as close or da 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 da, like I always talked to God. I always write and journal to God, since I was young. But when you're younger and stuff like that, like, people normalize trauma, people normalize imbalances and stuff, and it's family. And of course, like, respectfully, you understand that everything's not going to be perfect, but I don't know, man, like, shit just started getting really rough for me. Like, I don't know, I just feel like you have more strength to cut off certain friends when you've been in friendships that you stayed in longer than you should have, and something fucked up happened to you. I feel like moving forward, when people switch up and shit, like, it's easier to kind of like cut them off, unless there's of course, like, unless you're in a relationship with the person, like, of course that's not as easy, because even with that, like, like I've said before, you grow to be seriously selective about whom you go into a relationship or a covenant with. So if that motherfucker switch up on you too, that shit is soul crushing, bro. Like, what the fuck? But I don't know. I'm a woman that's, that was friends with somebody who basically set me up to get raped and shit. Like, to each their own, but these are my true testimonies, bro. Like, it has a lot to do with who I am today and how I move. Like, it don't matter. Like, your loyalty is just, bro, your loyalty is not always a shield. Like, with dealing with other people, dealing with mankind, like, it's not always a shield, like, for them doing some disloyal shit to you. But God is always a shield. And God is the company that I keep. The angels is the company that I keep. My divine ancestors are the company that I keep. I don't give a damn about people who are not spiritually knowledgeable, right? Not understanding what the fuck I mean by my divine ancestors, what I mean by my spirit guides, what I mean by, the divine angels and the Most High, and, be getting downloads and this language that people try to demonize because they don't understand it. If you were constantly put in places or groups or communities where these motherfuckers try to isolate you, ostracize you, get you pushed out, and so you have all these divine spirit beings in the spirit realm gather and continue gathering and encamping themselves around you, because everybody that's human, that's mankind, keep trying to push you out. And it's starting to fuck with your mental health when you're a beautiful person. You have such a beautiful heart that heals others, that influences the environment, that influences the land. It's almost like your heart is a green thumb. You have the Midas touch. Whom you invest your love, your energy, your attention, your touch into, you transform these people for the better. And you have to deal with constantly having to come up against a group of people, bro, in the flesh. They just gonna have to call me a witch. They just gonna have to talk bad about me. They just gonna have to demonize me, whatever they need to do, and what conversations they need to have with each other to justify their lack of accountability. Fine, they're just gonna have to have those conversations, because at the end of the day, I feel safer with God. At the end of the day, a lot of times what people don't like about you is that, yes, you are the company that you keep, and the company that you've kept, which is God, it shows on you. It reflects in your understanding. It expresses itself with how you communicate, with how you express yourself. All that energy that they be hating on, all that energy that they be mocking, all that energy that they be wanting to steal for themselves. But again, imagine if you kept them as company. I heard Spirit saying to me, you love them friends. You still love those friends. I got friends who became mothers at earlier ages. They don't fuck with me for the simple fact that I didn't become a mother at an earlier age. Never mind my trials and tribulations from dealing with demented ass motherfuckers around me. Never mind that. Never mind the shit that they know I went through that they didn't have to experience on some toxic ass shit. Never mind any of that. Never mind any of that, bro. Like, this shit is crazy to me. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's just impossible to repair something that's been tainted if a person's not going to be fully and completely honest about the role that they played. But these half truths, I can't. My spirit, my my spirit is going to feel unsafe if I sense a half truth. My spirit is going to feel uncomfortable. And so it's still not going to be the same. Even if we do reconnect, it's not going to be the same because I can sense that you're not telling me something that I need to know. Something that you did against me. There's something you're not revealing. And so, no, it's not. It can't go back to how it was. Even if there's an apology. If the apology lacks truth, full circle, it's not going to, it can't be repaired. It cannot be resolved. Because who are you for real? Especially if you wanting to connect with me, want me to be around you, want to be around me. Who are you for real, for real? Because it's like, in a way, it still manifests. Even if they don't reveal it, it manifests in your life because you gave them access to your shit. It's almost like if somebody lie, then they willing to steal. Okay, so you sitting on a lie with how you move towards me behind my back, what you said about me to other motherfuckers. But you gave me an apology. You want to reconnect. You missed the benefits of the connection. Okay, you may even genuinely like me or fuck with me for real, so you want to reconnect, but you don't want to reveal everything that you did to me. And so now I'm losing shit. I'm experiencing misfortune. This shit because I reconnected with you. I gave you access to me, and energetically you're stealing from me because you're masquerading yourself to even benefit from me. You're stealing. And then someone like me, even, with the family dysfunction and stuff, like, as far as having a consistent, stable shelter over my head, I definitely had that growing up. And so the illusion is to fuck up your stability that you're trying to create for yourself when you separate yourself, okay? Separated yourself because there was no emotional stability. There was no psychological stability. There was no spiritual stability. So you separated yourself. Despite the physical stability being there, right? The financial stability being there. So then they attack your financial stability when you separate yourself in hopes that you come back to the emotional instability, to the psychological instability. Like, what the fuck? I've been homeless. I've thudded out in my car before. I've rented out rooms. I've done past split. I've done all type of shit just to not go back. Making myself vulnerable at the end of the day, but still just fighting to obtain a place of safety, bro. A place of safety. And having it attack every step of the fucking way. Having my work, my finances attacked. Having my love life attacked. Like, just attacking every fucking thing. Everything. And then want to mock me because, yes, I am obsessed with God. I'm highly obsessed with God. Highly. So much so that I do shit that looks strange and stupid and peculiar to mankind. But if God told me to do it, if God guides me to do it, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Even if I don't have anything, I'm doing it. And that within itself may be the very reason why you get fought so fucking hard by mankind. But that's okay, right? Yeah, we understand it's not every fucking human. We get that. But again, it kind of just creates that slow bloomer effect in your life. But at the end of the day, I know when I get my solid shit for real, when shit solidify, I already know God's standing on business about my shit not being destroyed or touched by nobody that has ill will. I already know that. I already know that, bro. So it's okay at the end of the day, bro. It's all right. It's all right, bro. I'll deal with the spiritual warfare, the post warfare after I separate myself. I'll deal with that. Because at the end of the day, when you still involved, you still suffering even more warfare. Why you involved? Why you connected to these people? Okay, so yes, when you separate yourself, there's going to be resistance by these people, by their demons. There's going to be resistance. They're going to try to fight you a little bit harder. Try to get you to reconsider. Try to get you to give up. Try to finish the fucking job, bro. But you still gotta go. You still have to go. You still have to go. Even when you hungry. Even when you don't have nothing. The fuck? Even when you being tempted to do certain shit, bro, like just to resolve, like, certain pleasures, like food or some shit, bro. Like, it's literally giving Yeshua in the wilderness. Sometimes you just have to go, bro. And that food, that invite to return back to toxicity, that might be your temptation, bro. And when you looking around and you feel like you in a desert, bro, it's so tempting. It's so tempting to go back to some fucking poison, bro. But at the end of the day, like, I'm thirsty. I'm dehydrated. God is so powerful. The fact that our bodies are created so that we can even fast, bro. The fact that fasting is a thing. The fact that fasting is so highly spiritual and profound, bro. And the beautiful things that happen to you spiritually when you do it. I'm saying this to say, okay, even when you go out in that wilderness and satanic energies try to tempt you with shit that you literally just separated yourself from because it was harming you. It was harming your purpose and your path, bro. Fast. Sometimes you gotta fast without people, bro. You gotta fast off people, bro. Sometimes you gotta fast without that shit that you want. Sometimes you gotta fast in certain seasons with little to no stability, little to no money. But you gotta fast, bro. Because there's a greater escape taking place, bro. You going towards something even bigger and better, and that surpasses people's understanding, even your fucking own. The fact that you still have so much love and compassion toward these people that have done you so dirty, bro, that surpasses understanding. Because to you, you really be talking with yourself like, what the fuck? I wish I could be as cold as these people are to me. I wish I could just stop giving a fuck. Like, they seem not to give a fuck. But the reality is, it's not that they don't give a fuck, though. The reality is, in most cases, they do still give a fuck. They care. They give a fuck. But they are compromised. And you're not. They falling weak to demonic energies, and you have not. They falling weak to inauthenticity and deception. Self-deception. And you have not. That's the difference. That's the difference of why some people are just able to just, oh my God, bro, like, distract themselves for the real work, or just give in. Just give in and give up their soul, their bodies. I just feel like shit is not supposed to be this difficult, bro, for me. It's not supposed to be this fucking difficult for me to just get my own shit and keep my own shit, bro. And just be safe and undisturbed. Like, and that's it. Like, it's crazy. I feel like I can't say what I'm doing for work. I can't say where I'm working at. I can't post shit. I can't post who I'm talking to. I don't feel like I should be telling anybody if I'm dating somebody. That's crazy, bro. But my life has shown me the results of me doing it. And no, like, I can't, I can't keep falling into a space of denial about that shit, bro. Because ain't nobody just making this shit up for fucking nothing. Like, you gave me every fucking reason. I've been paying attention to my fucking life. I've been paying attention to the order of events. Like, when I talk to you and then when something fell the fucking part shortly after. Like, I pay attention. Even when these motherfuckers choose to pay attention to nothing but distractions. I pay attention to my fucking life, my fucking reality. Even theirs. And it's crazy because it does feel like you get the short end of the stick as a result, bro. But ain't no fucking way. God said his people die due to lack of knowledge. If you have the knowledge, that's a fucking lie. It's a fucking lie. They're trying to make it seem like you're worse off because you're living authentically, because you're living in truth, because you're acknowledging the truth. That is a fucking lie. When truth is literally the spirit of God. That is a lie. You know better. You do better. You know these people ain't shit. You know you suffered as a result of being connected to these people. Do better. Get away from them. Try life without them. You see how life was with them? Try life without them. Do something different. Even if that shit lonely, bro. That's okay. I have my dignity. That's all right. I have my dignity. I still have my originality. I still have my courage. A yellow butterfly just flew towards me when I said that. But it's just given like constantly trying to attack your solar plexus and your root chakra, because that sacral that sacral chakra go crazy, dog. I'm telling you. So they want to attack aggressively your sense of security, your willpower, your will remaining connected to God's will instead of submitting to a demented will. I'm telling y'all, man, like, the stuff that I experienced, and you see how I look and shit, bro, like, you would not think. Like, because I'm very humble, and I know what God is doing in my life. I know God is doing a great thing in my life. Especially, you know, me sticking to, you know, still being loving, bro. Not becoming bitter and shit. Not just, you know, giving in and just becoming another fucking Decepticon. Like, just out here, you know, ruining people's lives and shit, bro. Like, or ruining yourself. Like, refusing to ruin yourself. That's been another thing, too. Like, motherfuckers constantly trying to get you to ruin your fucking self just to cope. or really make you feel like something wrong with you type shit. Ain't shit wrong with you for real. I don't know. It's hard for me to it's hard for me to trust somebody whom I'm being so clear, legible, fluent. Everything I'm saying is, thorough. And a person still try to play me like, oh, you need to get some help. What the fuck? A motherfucker still try to flip the script like something wrong with you mentally just because, this energy of truth that you're embodying so boldly, it calls them out on their shit. I just can't be in environments too long where I'm having to jeopardize my authenticity. I can't stay there too long. Or it's not going to be harmonious after a while. Like, there's going to be some type of disharmony. Like, it has to. Because the imbalance is present. But yeah, it's not that we don't want things to go well with our family. We didn't try to heal things with our family, bro. Like, I just feel like depending on who you are, depending on your purpose and your calling, bro, your situation may be a little more complicated, bro. You're gonna have to be strong enough to like really stand on how God is guiding you, despite people's rhetorics and despite like people trying to school you on, oh no, you need to go back and you need to do this and you need to do that, when God told you to remove yourself. Ain't nothing normal about my life, bro. Ain't nothing normal about my life. Ain't nothing normal about being being in your single digits, your single ages, and having a dream about a relative having their arm severed. And then when everybody get older and shit, this person experiencing like some type of poverty, like that don't even make sense. Like, it don't even make sense. This is somebody that's a creator. They're creative. Like, shit, they've created and done more than most of the family. But why did you have a dream about that person's arms being cut off and that person being hysterical and confused about it? Why did you as a child have a dream about that and then watch it manifest? Why did God bring that vision back around if your gifts is just imagination? I've had that dream. I've watched that relative that was in that dream struggle be reflective of the dream. A lot of people are disconnected from the spirit realm, and so they want to mock and demonize those who are not. Those who have things revealed to them that they don't have the access of it being revealed to them because they're not connected to God as they should be. They just on the surface. Just like they on the surface with your ass. Just like they been surface level with you, they're surface level with God. And so when they experience God's spirit be expressed through somebody, hey Jada, I'm gonna have weight loss surgery instead of just hitting the gym, eating better, doing that for a while first. I'm gonna have weight loss surgery, and I recognize your healthy living, and I'm also going to need somebody to remove these stitches. Do you mind doing that? Oh no, of course. Remove the person's stitches, help this person meal prep, that person switch up on you. Like, what the fuck? that shit is really real. Yeshua being out here healing folk, and they turning on him, and it don't make sense. It don't make sense. Oh my God, bro. I'm just saying, like, people. Oh God, bro. Like, I just had some crazy ass outcomes in so-called friendships. That's all the fuck I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. And people will sweet talk you while they shitting on you, bro. They will sweet talk you simultaneously while they're shitting on you. Imagine having somebody set you up to get fucking oh my God. You trying to, okay, hey, we're gonna skip school, just on some rebellion shit, cause fuck school. Oh, you're young. Okay, let's skip school. Just for that person to try to set you up to get raped, to get gang raped, and all type of shit, and sweet talk you, or try to sweet talk you into doing the shit. But damn, you didn't say that's what we was doing when we skipped class. You said we was going. Yes, bro. I've been in scenarios like that. People that I considered friends, best friends, set me up. Even relatives, cousins, set me up so they can do some fraud, so they can do some ratchet shit, and will sell me out or set me up just so they can go do what the fuck they want to do. I've been in situations like that. I've had people destroy my shit just to get their fucking rocks off. What the hell? People really selfish as fuck, dog. People is selfish as fuck. And I'm gonna tell this little testimony too. I had this cousin, she was trying to fuck or whatever. This dude she was fucking with, so she ain't had no car. You feel me? Motherfuckers ain't had no car, so they asked to use my car. I'm sitting there, I'm with my cousin, like it's just me and you, and you feel me? Like you invited me and stuff. Like I'm just happy with my cousin, but goddamn, like you really just invited me to use me for real. So boom, I let her get my car. I get back to my car. This nigga kicked my whole shit in. Like he fucked my shit up all in the middle. Trying to climb from the front seat to the back seat instead of getting his big, tall, dusty ass out the car and getting in the back seat if that's what y'all was gonna do. This nigga kicked my shit in. Nigga fucked my shit up. My car. These motherfuckers ain't have no car. They fucked my shit up. You're not supposed to learn from experiences like that. You're not supposed to move different. You're not. I'm just saying, like, if you know that when you reconnect with these people, that shit gonna be performative as fuck, what the fuck is the point? Well, motherfuckers just want you to let bygones be bygones, and they don't want to acknowledge why you moving different with them. But then they want to complain and create some type of beef with you because you're moving different with them. Like, what the fuck is the point? What's the point of returning? Especially if I'm going to always end up feeling like, okay, motherfuckers just like projecting onto me, or motherfuckers trying to harvest off my emotions and my energy. Motherfuckers trying to find out what I got going on so they can taint it. If I'm having these fucking thoughts, bro, no, like, it makes no sense. It makes no sense. But I'm not about to beat a dead horse with this shit, bro. We got the you stand out from the rest card. Everything happens for a reason. This is not the first video I've made addressing, fake family or friends and shit like that, or just the traumas gained from family and friends. But I feel like the reason why I'm talking about it right now is because you could be on these people's mind, or a lot of these people could be thinking about you or reflecting on your energy. But that don't mean it's in a good way, shit. It says hearts don't break even. Sometimes your parent can be the first person to break your heart, bro. It's not always somebody you date or being in a romantic relationship with. Sometimes a relative, somebody that you trusted, can break your heart, bro. A friend. Yeah, these people could be reflecting on you because they feel like these other people that they sold you out for, they don't get them like you do. They don't understand them like you do. They don't take the time to understand them, to be structured and thought out in the responses that you give them if they're seeking advice or counsel, or if they're venting to you. These people that they chose, they don't pay attention to them enough like you do to know how to move with them, even non-verbally. I'm cutting off fake friends. So individuals that's now, cutting off fake friends during this time, and they're learning that lesson that you learned. Cutting off these fake friends is kind of like clearing away the fog and the shadows and stuff, and making those who are real stand out from the rest. It says the fact that you're career minded intimidates people. Yeah, so same old energy. You're under review. Friendships can be under review at this time. Connections are under review, especially the real ones from the fakes. Like, so it's giving, you may be a late bloomer with like stability and certain shit and stuff, but you're not a late bloomer to how to move like spiritually, like emotionally, mentally. Like, you're not a late bloomer there. Like, you're definitely an early bloomer. And you're having a phoenix moment, but you can feel like you're in the fire at this time. But you are rising from something that was burned bridges. You're rising from something that people could have tried to burn or set on fire for you. You're rising from it. Even if this is multiple times, you keep rising out of it. And a phoenix is beautiful. So I feel like red and orange, there's some type of uprising occurring in regards to your root chakra and your sacral. Honestly, all three of those, it's like a flame, it's like a fire. You know how the bottom of the flame will be one color, then it transitions as it goes upward. So like the flame may be a mixture of blue, orange, red, yellow, some shit like that. Like, still I rise, bro. No matter what. Why would I not keep company who resurrects? God resurrect. God is a resurrection energy. Why would I not keep God as company? This is why I rise. This is why I resurrect out of situations meant to kill me, cause me to kill myself, bro. This is why I keep rising out of it. Because of God, bro. Even if God was to give me some type of credit for it, I give all the credit and glory to God for resurrecting me out of these situations, because I'm telling you, when you in it, it's so hard to see your way out of it, bro. And I feel like the only way to see yourself out of these snares, these trials and tribulations, bro, these difficulties, is to look at God. It's like you're gonna have every belief attacked, bro. Every single one. Ultimately, the goal is to cause you to give up your belief in God, bro. But that's just, unwavering, unshaking, unwavering. Even if you do question God or question God's presence being there, like, I don't know. It's like there was never any manner of attack that was strong enough to fully separate you from God. Because more than anything, your spirit will feel the need to separate from the people first, from the environment first, from the thing first, from the object first, before you separate from God. Shit, maybe even consider separating from yourself before you separate from God. They fear what you know and hope their half truths can regain them access to you, but they know you're a high priestess, suffering in secret. Suffering in secret, but not willing to put in the work to end the suffering. See, that's that shit. People could be suffering in secret in regards to you separating yourself from them. Or the way that you've evolved against them because of their actions, their non-action, the things that they've said, the things that they haven't said. Man, that pride is ridiculous, bro. And pride definitely destroys families. Inflated pride. It destroys families. How can the problem be resolved if people are prideful about the problem?